Welcome back to Jay's Smokehouse and the History of Shrooms series, how psilocybin became illegal. As I stated in the last episode, shrooms and other psychedelic drugs proliferated through the counterculture movement. Now, what was counterculture? Counterculture, in the dictionary, is described as a way of life or a set of attitudes opposed to or at variance with the prevailing social norms. Now, the report by Richard Schultz that came out in 1957 in Time magazine was really the first time that it was made public. And there was so much promise that was going to come from mushrooms. But in just 8 years, it was painted in such a negative light. Now, one big reason for this, it seems, is the Harvard Psilocybin Project. Now, the Harvard Psilocybin Project was started with such good intentions. Just many mistakes seem to have been made along the way. But by 1965, there was a bill called the Drug Abuse Control Amendments of 1965, sponsored by Senator Thomas J. Dodd. This bill subjected psilocybin and psilocin to federal regulation. This bill was passed in July of 1965, and then it took effect on February 1st of 1966. However, many people were exempt from prosecution, and that is because the statute specifically permitted people to possess such drugs so long as they were for the personal use of the possessor, a member of their household, or for administration to an animal. As you can see, it would have been very difficult to actually prosecute someone with these actual statutes, which I don't see as a bad thing, but apparently the federal government did. Because of this oversight, among other things, the law was changed in 1968. They were added to Schedule I drugs. However, they weren't labeled Schedule I specifically until 1970. And by 1965, New York becomes the first state in the U.S. to actually regulate psilocybin and psilocin. And then we come to the 1971 UN Convention on Psychotropic Substances. They wanted to curb the growing popularity with psychedelics and the disillusionment with the system. However, they only banned the compounds psilocybin and psilocin, not the spores or the mycelium. Now, both spores and mycelium don't typically have psilocybin or psilocin. However, apparently, it is possible for them to have it under the right conditions. Now, this is why it's still legal to purchase or sell spores and mycelium. Now, this little caveat that spores and mycelium are still legal. This apparently is why it's so difficult to actually convict somebody on mushrooms. Now, I'm happy about that, but they shouldn't even be illegal in the first place. So let's just be happy for small wins for now. Now, there is something I want to address, and truly, there really is no excuse. I truly apologize for my foolishness. However, I have been extremely busy, and I did not check my pronunciation. Typically, I do check my pronunciations because I do like to pronunciate words and places correctly. But I was pronouncing this place in Mexico as Oaxaca, and I am so sorry. I truly believe that that was the pronunciation, and that was foolish of me to just assume. It is Oaxaca. However, I've learned a valuable lesson on mispronouncing places in Mexico. But I also think that it's very important to address your mistakes and learn from them and then grow from them. And so hopefully this never happens again. And I will do my best to make sure that I always check my pronunciations. Now, if you enjoyed this video or you learned anything, please leave a like and a comment. Let me know what you think. And also don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button if you want to stay up to date with videos coming out in the future. And now, as always, Jay is going to go smoke a J.